Alright, so welcome back everybody. So in today's video, we're going to be going over the Warzone Season 4 console settings for my console people, for my 80 FOV soldiers out there that are still sticking through thick and thin with this game. Yeah, for y'all soldiers out there, I know that 80 FOV pain, bro. I know that 80 FOV pain. Now, before I keep going, I want to ask y'all for one thing. If y'all could drop your boy a like button, it does help out the YouTube algorithm here on the channel and for this video, and it just helps me out. So I appreciate it. Thank you. Now, starting off, we're going to be going over the BR button layout, which I personally use tactical flip. I'll get into what flip is in a second, but regular default is just going to be on default, where you jump with X and slide with I think it's circle and all that. But tactical, I use tactical because I do slide with the R3. It makes sliding movement a little bit easier to slide. Whenever I do need to melee, I do play claw, so it's kind of easy for me. Because it's claws when I use my index finger for X, circle, triangle, and square. But not everybody is comfortable playing claw, so that's why I also recommend trying out these other ones, which are bumper jumper tactical, mainly my bumper jumper tactical, or stick and move if you like that. Now basically these change the way what you press. So instead of jumping with X here, you'll be jumping with L1, and you'll slide with R3. That's tactical. It's kind of the same thing with just the tactical version. Bumper jumper is just it switches jumping to L1, and you throw your stun with X. So you're not really doing much. So if you got to throw a stun, you just press X, or if you got to check your heartbeat, whatever. And then tactical is just tactical, like the regular tactical there. Stick and move is R3. You jump with R3 and you melee with X. So those change there. So depending on how you are comfortable with your hands and whatever, these are also really good option. Maybe you don't even know. Maybe you're a demon in bumper jumper and you've always been playing regular tactical or default. I might actually low-key have to try it because I've never tried it, but try it out. You might be a different breed on those. Now going next is stick layout preset. I have that's the default. I never touch that. I don't touch invert look. I don't touch that. Now next important is dead zone. Now dead zone, we have 4 dead zone settings. Left and right minimum dead zone, and then left and right max dead zone. Now max dead zone, this is really the easiest one. You want to max this out so you don't have any sort of distortion whenever you go to max it out. It stops early if you have this to like low. So you want to make sure to have that maxed out. But the important one here is really the minimum dead zone. Now minimum dead zone is going to be different for your controller. Now my controller, this is like a year old, but this one didn't have the controller drift issue that the original one that came with the PS5 controller. That one had a horrible stick drift, so I had to get a new controller, and it kind of fixed it. So with this, the whole dead zone setting basically is however much I move the stick, that's how much it'll move. So let's say I have my dead zone at 0.35, right? And I try to move this stick a little bit, just very so slightly. You might not even be able to see it, very slightly. It won't move on the screen because the dead zone is super high. But let's say I have it to 0.6, which I have it right now. The little bit that I move it, it will move on the screen. The lower, the more accurate the movement on your stick is to the screen. That's what it basically is. Now to find the perfect dead zone, you want to go into like some sort of wall or something. Line up your crosshairs onto like some sort of point. And if your crosshairs are moving, then you have to bump up your dead zone because your controller has controller drift. Now, if your dead zone isn't moving, then you probably already are on the perfect dead zone. Make sure both of these are the same dead zone, so it's not like weird whenever you have a different dead zone on both sticks. So yeah, you wanna this is what's really important, really important. Make sure to find the perfect dead zone for your controller. Mine's is 0.06. I actually used to be on like 0.03 or 4, but over time, over like the aging of the controller and inside of the here, it does get old and all that, and all the wear and tear on the actual stick. You eventually start having to bump up your dead zone little by little. So like I said, check that. Now next is our horizontal RJ sensitivity in general. Now for this season, I'm rocking 12 this season, especially with the new Fortune's Keep map, which is really movement driven. The movement's really crazy in that map. You have to be good with your movement to be good on that map. And for 80 FOV, I recommend anywhere from 8 to 12 to 13, 14 max. Nothing really over above that. I know some crackers out there that play on like 20 or whatever. You do you. I mean, for me, I think that's just too much, and I'm inaccurate. Like, I could play on them, but it's just I won't be as accurate like I am on 12. Like I've done it all, bro. I've really played like 3 for a whole season, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, all of the slowest ones, all of the highest ones. And I think 12 is perfect fit for me, just right in the middle. Now let's say we were on 120 FOV, then I would probably say like 8, because you see more. You don't have to be, moving your screen around really fast, because you see a lot. But since we're on 80 FOV, you do kind of want to bump it up a little bit, where you could move fast enough, but not too fast, just in the middle ground. So that's where I recommend 12 is a nice middle ground for both. My custom sensitivity per zoom, this is just like that sensitivity when you're aiming down sight with your weapon, like iron sight. I have it to 0.85. I think a little bit slower makes it a little bit easier to track people, to move my sight, my sensitivity while I'm ADSing. These are per zoom, so like for snipers, I have it on regularly 1. Since you are more zoomed in, you want to move a little bit faster, have the sensitivity of the gun a little bit faster. So those also play around with those. 0.85 for me is a nice sweet spot. Aim response curve dynamic is definitely hands down the best one for like the most player that is going to be rushing in aggressive, especially for Fortune's Keep. Dynamic is the one to go with. Linear, like I said, this is one for my snipers. People that play Caldera, play far back, they snipe. Linear is a little bit best for those type of snipers. People that play long range game and all that. Standard is kind of like in the middle ground, so really, that, like I said, dynamic is the best one overall. You get the best rhythm, you get the best rate control, best feel. Is the best one. Just use dynamic, really. Control vibration, have this to disabled. You don't want no vibrations while you're shooting, just throws you off. Aim assist, I have this to standard. Used to be broken on focusing, but I'm pretty sure they patched it. Standard is the only aim assist that you get while hip firing. So yeah, for close range battles, standard is the best one, hands down. And this, I just keep this to regular. I don't really touch any of those. Enable, hold. Now the next one that is important is contextual tap. The use reload behavior is regularly set to tap to reload, and contextual tap makes you pick things up really fast in Warzone. So with a single tap, you pick things up from looting and all that. So most of y'all probably know this one, but just in case you didn't, armor plate behavior, apply all. Now apply all is basically, instead of just pressing triangle, holding triangle to armor up, you just press it once and you could let go of it and it will fully armor up for you without you having to hold it. And let's say you want to cancel it, you could just, I think you double press triangle or press it once, and then it cancels out the animation. If you hear someone like running towards you, then you want to cancel that. So it is a little bit easier, especially from getting away and plating away. You get hurt, you want to plate away and run at the same time while slide canceling. You need apply it all. Slide behavior, I have it on tab. Now I know some pros that do have it on hold, like DS Biffle has it on hold, but that's DS Biffle, me, I think tap is just way easier. It's easier for movement, for slide canceling and all that, instead of having to hold it, which takes a little bit longer for the animation to register. So I think tap is the best one in my opinion, but you experiment. It might be better on hold. I don't know. I haven't used hold since the beginning, since the dawn of Warzone. So I don't know, but I'm too used to tap. It would be weird if I switched to hold right now. Now. Tactical sprint, this really doesn't matter if you have automatic tac sprint, which is a must really nowadays, with everybody really being good at movement, being fast. Automatic tac sprint is where you just press up your stick instead of having to double tap it. You get right into the tactical sprint animation when you just put up the stick to run. Like I said, it's a must with slide canceling. This one and slide behavior is really all you need to master the tac sprinting, slide cancel, tac sprinting, slide cancel. The basic of movement is a must nowadays, really. Vehicle center disabled. Parachute auto deploy, have this to disable so I can land close to the ground. Graphics, I do have this to my safe area to the smallest, just so I don't have to like look all the way up. Now for like I said, for graphic settings, there isn't really too much for console, but I do have a little thing that I'm gonna show y'all. So first, least 50% camera movement. You want to have this to the least, because if you have it to 100, you do get a little bit of shakiness there. World motion blur, have this to disabled. Don't ever enable this ever. But weapon motion blur, this is for my PS4 and Xbox One players that do want to get a little bit better FPS. When you enable this, it's only the little hand animations that have a blur. It blurs those out and takes the rendering that it would have went into the animation into like FPS. So it actually boosts up your FPS a little bit and makes it a little bit smoother. So run blur. Me, I'm on PS5, so it doesn't really change anything because it's gonna be locked to 60 FPS. But it does make your gameplay look more smoother if you want to do gameplay videos. Film grain, have this to 0. Enabled. Gore effects. Brightness, make sure you have it to like 49 or 50. I don't want to see anyone's brightness above 50 because the game looks horrible. Anything above 50. On-demand texture streaming, have this to disabled. I tried this a while back ago. It does make your ping go up and you will start lagging a little bit. So yeah, don't use that with the, because with the servers already of Warzone, yeah, you don't need extra lag. This is kind of just normal English. Now this is the important one for graphics to make the game actually look better. Derritinopia, I've always been running Derritinopia. It's always I feel like it's the closest thing to like normal colors, but it just makes them more saturated, more clear, adds a little bit of like saturation and clarity filter to them. Make sure you do have this to both so you can actually see it in game. I know some people like Tritanopia, makes things a little bit like bluish, reddish, and then this one's yellowish. But the trick that I was talking about earlier was, if you are on PS5, you want to go to your settings. In here, go up to accessibility. Go in here, boom, go down to color correction, and you could actually enhance this here with a color filter. You can either pick between Protanopia, Derritinopia, or Tritanopia, and you can increase, decrease the intensity. Mine's, I have it around like 25 to 30% extra Derritinopia. It does add into the game. Makes the game look a little bit more juicier in colors, more better. It just makes the game look better, in my opinion, doing this. Grayscale, no, don't use grayscale. But yeah, I mean, this is kind of a cool feature that you could actually do this in your console alone. Not sure if Xbox has it. I did see a comment a while ago that the Series X and S have some sort of color correction in their settings. So I don't have an Xbox, so I don't know for sure. But you could look, if you have an Xbox, go look through your settings, graphic settings, and all that. HUD, this kind of just normal, just square. Enable rotation, compass. This kind of doesn't really matter much. Profanity, all that. Yeah, this is whatever. Next, we have the big audio. Now, I do use boost low. I think is the best one, but really the audio is kind of chalked in this game either way, so it doesn't really matter really. My master volume is at 48 because here in my OBS settings, I do get to like control the extra audio thing. Like right here, if I want to decrease my mic, can't hear me, but then y'all can hear me again. So I kind of have like a little bit of extra audio settings thing for me, but for y'all, I probably recommend anywhere from like 60 to 80. You don't want to have it too high because you don't want to blow out your eardrums either. But somewhere around there, I think is right just for y'all. I use 48 because I could adjust it from my end. So yeah, boost low. Anything else, doesn't matter. We're just waiting for Warzone 2 and MW2 for better audio, because this game's audio is not that good. Music volume, have this to 0. I don't like hearing the music and all that while I'm playing. Dialogue, have this to 60. This is when you hear like, oh, enemy UAV and all that in the radar or whatever. Effects, this is like the cluster strike, positioner strike effects and all that. So if you don't like those, I do bump it down to like 60, so they're not as loud. So that's another thing. Cinematic 0. Juggernaut disabled. You don't want any of that. Hit marker MW, I either switch. I'll use classic sometimes, or if you don't like the noise, just turn it off. Mono audio is the other important one. Now, if you have mono audio enabled, you will now hear bi-directional audio. So make sure to have this setting disabled, or else you would not be able to hear bi-directional audio. I've seen a lot of people have this on and they're always like, I can't really hear audio that well. Maybe it's because, yeah, some of y'all have this enabled. I know a few updates ago, it automatically enabled this. So make sure you disable this, or else your audio is going to be chalked and you can't hear bi-directional audio. The only reason you would have mono audio on is if, like, let's say only one side of your ear cup works and the other one doesn't, or if you have one of those like one earpiece headsets, then you want to have it enabled. But if you have a headset like me and both sides work normal, have this to disabled. And then, yeah, that's pretty much it for these settings. It's kind of just voice chat settings, nothing really too important really there. So yeah, y'all, let me know what y'all think about these settings. Let me know what y'all think for my 80 FOV soldiers out there. If you made it to the end, comment FOV, because we do want FOV. It's about time. It's about damn time we should get FOV. But yeah, let me know what y'all think about my settings. I appreciate it if you made it to the end. Thank you. Take care of yourself and see you later.